Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Orv3NWO, bringing you my top 5 under the radar running backs. These aren't the best running backs on Madden. These are guys you can take in later rounds in an online or offline franchise draft to let you save those earlier draft picks for more important positions. These are also the kind of guys you can use against your friend that they probably haven't heard of, and it'll make you look like a real Madden genius. Number 5 is Javonte Rogers. Now usually on Madden I only like to run with the top end speed running backs because I think speed's very important in that position on Madden, but I'm going to give him a little bit of a slide because I think he was hurt mainly by a poor 40 time in the combine. I think in future weeks with roster updates you'll see his speed rise. Overall he's a 69, his speed right now is only an 84, but the rest of his stats match a very, very quick running back. His agility is a 94, acceleration's a 97, elusiveness is a 93. His spin is an 85 and his juke is a 93 as well. He is a very, very quick. He just can't hold up the top end speeds right now because of that 84 speed rating. So what you have to do is kind of get him out in space a little bit, make sure he's got a little bit of room. He's very sure-handed. He's got 83 carry. He's not going to fumble the ball. That's very high for a young running back. And his catching is a 75, so he's going to catch the ball very well too if you can get it to him. The only thing there is he's a shorter running back, so you're going to have to make sure that he's got some room because he's definitely not going to out-jump anybody. But the way I like to use him is stuff to the outside. Now he's good enough that you can run up the middle as well, but I like to take him to the outside, try and get a little bit of space, usually do some tosses, or just run him out in the flats like on this play here, and you can see that he can get the job done very well. Number 4 is Michel, and yes, that rhymed, it happens all the time. Overall, he's a 72, his speed is an 85, so he's not a top-end speed guy again, but his acceleration's a 93 and his trucking's an 87, and that's a recipe for disaster. He can run people right over. Now, his spin move is also an 85, which is not something you usually see in the stronger type running backs, but the thing that really sets him apart is the 95 stiff arm. Use that early and often. This guy reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch. His also has a 97 carry, so he is not going to fumble the ball. That's awesome in a young running back like this guy. Now, in college, he was actually pretty good at catching the ball out of the backfield on passes, but they have his rating a little low. I think it's in the high 60s on his catching, so I usually don't throw the ball to him a lot. You can run him up the middle if you want to. You can go to either side. Now, like I said, he doesn't have the top end speed, so it helps if you can get him a little bit of space or just kind of use him to truck up the center. If you can get him head on head with a cornerback or a smaller guy, he's more than likely he's going to run him right over. He's very strong, very powerful, and you don't have to worry about him dropping the ball. He's great for any type of goal line situation or short yardage stuff as a secondary back, but he's still fast enough. Even with just the 85, his acceleration makes up for it, and you can still use this guy as an every down back if you want to. Number 3 is made in Taiwan Jones. This is one of my absolute favorite running backs to use on Madden. His overall is just a 63, but don't let that fool you. This guy is a rocket. His speed is a 95, agility is a 92, and his acceleration is a 96. So not only does he have the burst, not only does he have the top end speed, but he is also very, very quick in and out of his cuts. You can tell when you use him that he moves very, very quickly in and out of those cuts. His elusiveness is an 85, spin's an 80, and juke is an 86, so he can make all the moves as well. Very hard to bring down. His catching is a 72, so that's one thing that's great about these very quick running backs. You can use them in any kind of passing situation out of the backfield, but you can also do a lot of screen type passes, and those work very, very well with guys like this. This guy will outrun anybody, and he will not have very much trouble with it at all. You ought to try that out. Try getting some passes out into the flats with him, screen passes, or just anything to the outside. I wouldn't recommend running up the center a lot, but in the right kind of situation with a draw, it can work very well, just like that. Number 2 is the man with 3 names and plenty of game, stephens-howlings. Think of this guy as Taiwan Plus. He's got all the Taiwan stats plus a little bit extra on each of them. Overall, he's a 72, speed's a 93, agility's a 94, and acceleration's a 95. He's very fast, very quick, very agile. His elusiveness is an 88, which is very good. He's got an 85 ball carrier vision, which doesn't help a lot if you're controlling him, but in a sim situation that will keep his stats up. His spin move's an 88 and his juke move is a 94. He also has 77 catching, and one thing that I love to do with LaRod and the number 1 guy is what I just did right there. Move them out into the slot, get them up against a linebacker, and do that right there. No linebacker can keep up with either of those guys, and they have very good hands, so you don't have to worry about them dropping passes. Put them out there, run them out of the flats, run them in screen passes. They're almost more effective that way than they are actually taking the ball from a handoff and running. But you can also do a lot of toss type stuff like this to give them that extra space. Number 1 on this list is Dexter McCluster, and not only is he my top under the radar running back, he's also one of my favorite players to use on Madden regardless of position. Overall, he's a 76, his speed is a 93, agility is a 95, and his acceleration is a 96. He is extremely fast and agile. His elusiveness is a 93, ball carrier vision's an 89, and his spin move is a 93 to go along with a 95 juke move. The guy is very hard to tackle and has tons of moves. His catching is an 81, which is higher than a lot of receivers on this game. As a matter of fact, you can plug him in at receiver on the Chiefs roster and he's already the 3rd highest rated one. Do that for your team. Make sure you have him on your franchise team. You can put him at halfback, you can put him at wide receiver, you can put him at punt return, kick return, you can put him in the wildcat and line him up at quarterback. This guy can do it all, and he is very dangerous. Make sure you get him on your team and crush people with him, because it is a lot of fun and he always comes through for me. Alright, this has been my top 5 under the radar running backs. Now again, these aren't the best running backs on Madden. These are the guys that you can draft in late rounds on your franchise drafts, so you can save those other higher picks for more important positions. These are also some guys you can use against your friends who may not have heard of them. It can make you look like a real Madden genius. Now, if I left somebody off that you think should be on here, or if you have a problem with some of my picks, I understand that. Leave it in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have another guy that you think should have made this list, leave it in the comments section. I love reading that stuff. Anyways, guys, until next time, I've been Orby3NWO.